The Jammu Kashmir Self-Determination Movement international team, led by founder Chairman Raja Najabat Hossain, arranged British parliamentarians and Kashmiri representatives from different walks of life, including officials of JKLF, Professor Zafar Khan and Liaquat Ali Lone, to present the petition for Mohammad Yasin Malik, Chairman JKLF, on Wednesday 14th June at 10 Downing Street, London, official residence of the Prime Minister. Attended Debbie Abrahams MP, Chairperson APPG on Kashmir in the British Parliament. Shadow Minister Barrister Yasmin Qureshi MP, Chairperson APPG on Pakistan. Shadow Minister Barrister Imran Hussain MP, Senior Vice Chairman APPG on Kashmir. Shadow Minister Dr. Afzal Khan MP, Vice Chairman APPG on Kashmir. Mohammad Yasin MP, Zara Sultana MP, Tahir Ali MP, JKS-DMI West Midlands, Chairperson Asia Hussain, JKS-DMI Cheshire, Chairperson Nina Rania Khan, Nadia Jafri, London, former President of All Parties International Kashmir Coordination Committee, UK, Chaudhry Mohammad Azim, Laik Ali Khan, Mirpur City Councillor Rahil Shafiq and others.
Today we are here at 10 Downing Street to hand in a petition regarding the incarceration of the Yasin in India. And here with us is the APPG Chair of Kashmir's Chair, Debbie.
Yes, we've just delivered a letter and a petition to 10 Downing Street for the attention of the Prime Minister, asking him to contact the Indian government, expressing our deep concern that a warrant for the death penalty for Mr. Malik has been issued, and we're seeking to get that rescinded.
I think what we're seeing is a climate by the Indian government today where the rule of law is being challenged, and we are asking for fairness, we are asking for the rule of law to be followed, and we are asking the British Prime Minister to make representations to the Indian government to allow a free and fair process for Yasin Malik.
The UK prides itself as a democracy and talks about democratic principles, so it's really important that when we're dealing with human rights violations in India and across the world, that Rishi Sunak listens and takes that in his conversations with diplomats and the Indian government itself. So we're here to show support for the Kashmiri people, but also speak out against these gross human rights violations.
We are here at the 10 Downing Street to highlight the issue of Yasin Malik, who is facing injustice in prison in India. The Indian government is trying to change his sentence from life sentence to death penalty, which is we think is very unfair and I think it's a human rights violation. We are here at the 10 Downing to trying to wake this Prime Minister up. So he should stand up for the human rights violations around the world, and especially against the Kashmiri people in India.
And the petition, we are deeply concerned with what is happening with Yasin Malik and the prosecution of other political prisoners by the Indian government. And our key demand ultimately is the implementation of the UN resolutions, and so that this oppression stops.
It's clearly evident that the death penalty that's been applied for in August against Yasin Malik is politically motivated. To that effect, I have written to the Foreign Secretary last Friday asking for urgent intervention to stop this from happening. All political prisoners in India to be released with immediate effect.
On behalf of the Kashmiri nation and British Kashmiris, I'm thankful to APPG on Kashmir and APPG on Pakistan for presenting a petition along with us at 10 Downing Street. We are asking British government to intervene in this very serious matter. More than 500,000 British Kashmiris are concerned about the appeal which Indian government did against Yasin Malik's life imprisonment, and they want to give him a death sentence, which is completely unfair. All those allegations against him are false and fabricated by the Indian forces and Indian government. So we Kashmiris are asking his imminent release.
Yasin Malik's treatment is basically motivated by political policy, Kashmir policy of the Indian government. And today our petition informs the British Prime Minister that the British government has a role to play here, and that he, as Prime Minister of this country, should engage with Mr. Modi and impress upon him that he should not go along with this policy of eliminating Yasin Malik and also trying other Kashmiri leaders. And the Kashmir issue is a long-standing issue, and it needs to be resolved in order for to see peace and justice and democracy in Kashmir. And Yasin Malik is a key player. He is part of the solution in Kashmir and not a part of the problem. There are other Kashmiri leaders, namely Shabir Shah, Ms. Asya Indrabi, Dr. Faktu, Naid Nasreen, and a number of others that should also be released, because these leaders are seeking a political and peaceful resolution of the Kashmir issue.
Here today to present the petition to Honorable Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on release Yasin Malik and all political prisoners. So we pledged the British government to work on humanitarian grounds with the Indian government to bring peace in Southeast Asia. Chairman Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front Yasin Malik and all other political prisoners must be released. And when British government is doing the trade deals with India, they must work on humanitarian grounds. There is a gross human rights violation according to United Nations Human Rights Commission report 2018 and 19. And I believe Mr. Rishi Sunak, like myself, is a migrated family. He knows the pains of, because we have our families back home in Jammu Kashmir, which are under the threat. And the British government must resolve this Kashmir issue on urgent basis.
To submit the petition regarding Yasin Malik, who's recently been applied for a death sentence, and we request from the British Prime Minister that if they come forward and look into in this matter and support us. Thank you.
After the petition presentation, a special meeting was hosted by Bradford West MP Naz Shah, chaired by Raja Najabat Hussain, Chairman JKSDMI, attended by Debbie Abrahams, MP, Chairperson, APPG on Kashmir, Lord Qurban Hussain, Secretary APPG on Kashmir, Andrew Gwynn, MP, Chairman Labour Friends of Kashmir UK, Lord Timothy Kirkhope, all the Kashmiri and Pakistani representatives present at 10 Downing Street, including Alderman Mushtaq Ahmed Lashari, MBE, Barrister Shehzada Hayat, Raja Husham Sharif, Sheikh Ramzi Ahmed, Rehana Ali, Advocate, Chaudhry Khamer Zaman Hanfi and his team, where future plans were discussed to raise the voice for Mohammad Yasin Malik in next few weeks before his court date. Both organisations support the release and aim to put pressure on Indian government via the British Parliament and government. JKSDMI team, along with JKLF leadership, will work closely with APPG on Kashmir and Labour Friends of Kashmir UK. Both organisational leadership thanked MPs and Lords for their continued support for the Kashmir cause, especially for Mohammad Yasin Malik. SM Irfan Tahir, World News London.
Yes, I'm Lord Kirkhope of Harrogate, and I have been involved with a number of issues concerning the international relations between my country and other countries in the world. And one of the requirements that we always move to very quickly when we discuss anything, and that includes trade agreements, which we're currently discussing with countries such as India. We make it very clear that our unacceptance of the death penalty is one of the factors which must come into discussion when we go to those arrangements. And I am pressing very hard, particularly looking at some individual cases where the death penalty has been applied, and it includes in India, particularly includes those offences which relate to Kashmir and also to individuals where India has decided to impose a death penalty, which is not acceptable, and we cannot therefore continue our discussions or get into detailed discussions about trade agreements as long as those matters remain.
Andrew Gwynn, Labour Friends of Kashmir Chair. So I think it's really important that the British government understands the concern that parliamentarians of all colours have in respect of the treatment of Yasin Malik, because what we are seeing firstly is the use of the death penalty, I would argue on spurious grounds, but the death penalty is something that we in the United Kingdom condemn. We do not support the use of the death penalty anywhere in the world, and I think we should be ensuring that the Indian authorities understand that there is no place for the death penalty in the judicial system, and that we should be putting pressure on those in India to look again at the treatment of Yasin Malik, and to ensure that at the very least he serves a custodial sentence if they are going to punish him rather than the death sentence.
Lord Qurban Hussain, Secretary of the All-Party Parliamentary Group in Kashmir. Yasin Malik's case is with the Indian courts. The Indian intelligence agency has made a request for his double life sentence to be turned into death sentence, and the court has given a date for the hearing. This is completely injustice. There is no grounds, there is no new information given why the Indian government want Yasin Malik to be assassinated or death penalty should apply. I think the human rights organizations must speak up in India and outside India. This is completely injustice. He is a political leader. 3 of the Indian prime ministers had met him in prison, and after his release, he has visited all over the world, including UK and United States. If he was a terrorist, as the Indian government is claiming, well, I don't think that any terrorist will be given passports to go and fly around the world and speak at different locations in India. That is what happened with Yasin Malik. He is a political leader, and it is a political assassination if that is going to take place. And we condemn that, when we will continue to support for the release of Yasin Malik, and we will ask the British government to use their good offices to ask Indian government to stop this action and save Yasin Malik's life.